Hello and welcome to another exciting, extraordinary, amazing episode of the Llama Commerce Show. I'm Kurt Theobald, CEO at Classy Llama.
You forgot epic. I think epic could be another adjective.
Wow, maybe next time you can introduce the show and use whatever adjectives you want. I used all of them that I wanted to, every one of them.
That was a comprehensive list, is what you were saying?
That was all of them that I knew.
Okay, it's my turn. And I'm Brett Curry, lead strategist at Classy Llama, and we're really excited about today's show. We're excited about all the shows, if you think about it.
I do think about it.
But this show is going to be a good one. Hot topic, amazing guest. I love case studies when we can talk about a topic that's hot and relevant and then have a fantastic example or case study. Mm-hmm. And today we've got a good one.
Yep, and
we've got a piping hot one.
That is, we've got our one-arm table tennis trophy player. As always, Ott is on the show because he never misses a beat. He's always with me at all times because I deliver the most value. That's why he's in my office.
I think he's our number one fan. I ignored that last part when you were talking about you. The wrong thing. Ott is our biggest fan, though, I think.
A major caveat to this show. Classy Llama, which is an e-commerce agency, is having internet issues. And so if the sites or the whole show suddenly collapses on itself, then you know why.
We'll just switch to dial-up, and we'll be back in no time.
Anyway, so it's happening. So we're just going to perfectly solid minutes without any problems.
Should be good. Should be good. So today we're talking about B2B e-commerce and how the B2B e-commerce space is growing and evolving. And I didn't realize how big it is. Like the B2B e-commerce space is massive. Yeah. And depending on who you talk to, what numbers you look at, it actually eclipses, in terms of dollar amount, the B2C e-commerce space. Which
and
is
you know, I'm curious, we should look up the statistic. How much faster is B2B e-commerce growing? Or rather, I should say, which one's growing faster, B2C or B2B? I would love to know that. That's a great step. We should look that up before the show.
Jesse,
why didn't you do that? You are this close.
What are you doing right now?
All right.
You should look stuff up.
So who do we have to shed light on?
So today we've invited one of our esteemed clients, a client that we love to hang out with, love to talk to. And if you're listening to this or watching this and you can access your computer, I'm going to pull up the site while we go through this because I think that'll be helpful. Espresso Parts. So espressoparts.com. We have
not espresso. Don't you dare spell it espresso.
I love espresso.
Espresso with an S. There's no X in espresso. Okay, learn your Italian,
it's
idiots.
Like, especially.
I just called our viewers idiots.
You
all
did.
of them. All of our listeners are
Don't
idiots.
listen to him. He doesn't care for you the way that. Yeah. So anyway, we have Daniel Nettleton.
Daniel, welcome to the show.
Parts. How are you, Daniel?
Hey, thanks guys. Good. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
Doing great.
Fantastic. We are huge fans of yours. Whenever Espresso Parts swag comes to the Classy Llama offices, developers fight over it. People's feelings get hurt.
Yep.
But we all love you
because we're fanatical about coffee, and you happen to be in the business. So we love everything you do. You make coffee possible, and we really appreciate that.
That's right.
So you're welcome.
So Daniel, what I think would be really helpful, we've got lots to talk about. There's so many things you guys do well. But could you just tell briefly the story of Espresso Parts, like why you were founded, what you guys do? Just give a brief kind of Reader's Digest background of Espresso Parts.
Yeah, sure. Espresso Parts started around 1993 when specialty coffee wasn't really the as much of a gigantic industry as it is today.
Coffee shops weren't as hot back then, were they?
That's right.
Coffee shops were not quite as hot. Starbucks, they hadn't quite pushed through to as many street corners as they have now, and so it was founded so that we could bring parts for espresso machines and other specialty coffee tools to those shops that needed them, and over the last 22 years, we've just continued to grow and then move into this e-commerce space, and specialty coffee has grown. I know you guys have a couple great shops around there that you can go to, and we in the Seattle area definitely have an abundance of specialty coffee, which is perfect. It's one of the greatest things about this state, and so we've just grown and grown our team and grown our web presence to meet that need. We sell to businesses, coffee shops, and distributors, and we also sell directly to home users and kind of home enthusiast users, the guys that you go over to their house because they have a really fancy espresso machine and they know how to use it, and that's what we do.
Which that population is growing. I have several friends that geek out about making good coffee. I'm kind of one of those a little bit.
You try to be.
I try to
really try to be.
I need to be better. I'm kind of a wannabe, really, Daniel. But with your help, maybe I can be a company.
I think we can probably help you out with that.
Good. So Daniel, when did e-commerce first become an important piece of the Espresso Parts business?
Oh, that's a great question. We've actually had an e-commerce website for a relatively long time. As far as the company goes, I mean, selling parts for espresso machines online, it didn't used to be a huge thing. And so we were kind of in the pioneering of, hey, you can go online and you can buy a portafilter, you can buy a basket, you can buy a pump, and so it's been really great. My job as the e-commerce manager is obviously to help grow that, and being that it's been kind of a top priority in our business for a long time, it's great to work in a place where we realize that people, their coffee shops are growing, they're expanding, people are building coffee carts, people are getting those home enthusiast machines, and they want to order stuff online. So it's really great to be a part of a company that kind of pioneers in that domain.
So what just blows me away, I didn't look at the notes for the show very well, just to be clear, but what blows me away
is that unique to this show?
No, that's pretty much every show. Yeah. But what blows me away is that Espresso Parts is a B2B play, but you guys have like stark raving fans. Like,
yes.
I mean, how in the world when did this happen? That a B2B brand can have stark raving fans like up here in Springfield, and they're like, oh yeah, we wear the Espresso Parts shirts all the time, and they like love you guys. So how did that, like, can you actually, like, it would be like golden if you could just tell us how that actually happened.
Well, we do a lot of things to try to make that happen. I mean, that's one of the most exciting things about us is that when you just look at the name Espresso Parts, it's maybe not very, very exciting to you, you techie people. But, start ordering from us, and let me grab some materials. I prepared for the show.
Wow,
all right. But,
that makes one of us.
Yep, I figured there should be one. So anyway, in a box of parts or T-shirts or mugs or whatever you happen to be ordering, let's see if you can see the sticker better than my face.
All right. Oh man,
you get stickers like that. You get
like a tamper with wings.
It's a portafilter with wings. Yep.
Gotcha.
There it is. It says Espresso Parts Barista Division.
Like into this kind of thing. I thought this is something you did.
See, we're helping Brett here. This is what we're doing. We're educating Brett.
Flashcards.
Flashcards. So we've got coasters. We've got our logo on a bunch of different stuff.
So you send that with the orders.
Stickers. We send it out with orders for free. We just dump extra stuff into our orders. One of the things we did on Cyber Monday, in addition to offering some free shipping and some 20% off discounts, which was really cool, is we also threw in some notebook kits. This is a
super cool
a notebook, a rubber band, and a pen.
See,
it all has our name.
What you have to do, for those of you who are watching, you have to appreciate the amount of thought that went into what he just showed you. Because you can just do that, he just kind of waves it before.
I just kind of wave it. This is what we do.
That's right. This is what we do. But think about every piece of that had to be thought out, and they're investing in creating a brand relationship with you. It's not, they don't just sell espresso parts and all the other stuff that they sell. You know, they're selling a relationship, and they're building that relationship. So take note. It's an investment. These aren't just things that they thought up of and threw up on the wall. This is thoughtful. At least I hope it was. If it's not thoughtful, you're geniuses,
you should take credit for it.
Just figure things out in the moment.
It was very thoughtful, very intentional. We like to be the cool brand that sends stuff out inside your box of parts or your box of mugs, or maybe with your grinder. And we really like doing that because we get excited when we see baristas with our T-shirts. We get excited when we walk into a coffee shop and we see a grinder with an Espresso Parts sticker on it. We see that kind of stuff all the time, especially around here with all the specialty coffee shops, and we have many, many people that order from us, so we get to see it a lot. And then even when we travel, it's just exciting to see a barista get excited about our brand, and then maybe they start their own coffee shop and kind of carry that fan base over, and they're now the owners. They're now the business in, the second business in the B2B equation, and they're ordering our stuff and passing that on to their baristas. So it's really cool. We like to make lifelong fans, lifelong customers, and it's really neat that we get to do that.
I'm really inspired by this, Brett. Like, really inspired, because, like, imagine that you sold nuts and bolts as a B2B supplier, right?
Yeah.
That's like about as boring as it gets, right?
True.
But then lace into that things like, well, maybe after they spend like $10,000 with you or something like that, you send them like this container that's shaped like a wrench and it's filled with chocolates or something like that, because you want people to talk about your brand. Like, dude, check out what they sent us. That is super cool. Or send like a badge that says Iron Man is in the shape of a nut or something like that. That'd be hilarious and cool or whatever.
It is. Yeah.
I think you have to think like that. Stop thinking about what you sell them functionally. Start thinking about, like, how do you create that brand connection and make them love you in some way, make them connect and be excited about your brand.
Yeah, because I think most wholesalers, manufacturers, or B2B sellers, they think we've got to cut costs, we have to just make ordering seamless. But our buyers are different. That's what a lot of wholesalers and manufacturers think. But the reality is, buyers are buyers, right?
Human beings.
They're human beings, and that's the trend we're seeing. That people who buy on a B2B website, they're also shopping on Amazon and Zappos and some of these other Bonobos and other sites that do a really great job of creating this great experience and having a brand. And so B2B companies have to be doing that as well.
I think it's really easy to get into a place where you're thinking about it in a very, like, it's because it's B2B, it's so functional, right?
Transactional.
Like you're supplying them. You are a vendor. You're a supplier. But stack on top of that, you got to have the fundamentals right. You got to get it there on time. They need to be consistent service and all that. But stack on top of that the relationship, and now you're getting somewhere. Now you're getting to a point. And truth is, and Daniel, I'm sure you can attest to this better than us. Like, you have a specific audience that's so much more limited than a B2C play. Yes. And so every one of those customers is even more important and more valuable to, like, focus on and develop and retain and build loyalty with.
Yes, exactly. And it's really cool because in our industry, in the coffee industry, it feels nice and small. I mean, when you have a coffee shop or maybe a chain of 3 coffee shops in a city, you normally don't have this kind of big industry structure like some of the other B2B companies. If you sell nuts and bolts, you probably sell to a lot of really huge companies that are buying millions of nuts and millions of bolts. And it's cool because most of the businesses that we sell to, the buyer is also the owner, and they're excited about coffee because they probably also work in the shop. They probably pull themselves shots every morning and help out when it gets busy. And so it's really cool because they can get excited about what we're selling because they have used it and they continue to use it. They can show off our brand with stickers and buttons and coasters and shirts, and it's really neat to be able to kind of have that connection, and it's, I think, unique to an industry like ours where we're selling to a lot of smaller businesses.
Yeah. I mean, I think take that principle that we see in the B2C world of delighting your customers, and it's all the more important in the B2B world to delight your customers because there's fewer of them.
Yeah, every individual client is so much more important.
Exactly.
Yes. So, hey, one thing that I think would be really insightful, Daniel, for you to share, and I think what's a little bit unique maybe to B2B clients is that you're going to have more of a mix of offline and online potentially.
Yeah.
Because you are working with a smaller number of clients. But what are you doing to both attract new clients and then also to take a new client and grow them? So grow them from a small client into a large client. You can start wherever you want, either with attracting or with growing. But what are some cool things you guys are doing right now to enhance those?
Our main focus is growing the customers that we have. You guys know that it's a lot cheaper to make your existing customers happy than it is to go out and acquire a bunch of new ones. And we like to have strong relationships with our customers. Like I said, we like to get them excited about our brand as well. So we really spend a lot of time cultivating those relationships and going after, if you notice a company that maybe makes some wholesale orders, they buy Maybe they buy a set of steaming pitchers, or maybe they buy a couple of cases of mugs every few months. And we really like to start up a conversation with them about the other things that we sell that they could potentially use. I mean, if you've got steaming pitchers and you're using mugs, there could be a whole lot of other things that we have that you can use. We have this cool thing called the rinser. I think it's a banner on our homepage still, where you just you put a mug down on it, you press down, and it shoots water up and rinses the mug for you, or the steaming pitcher, or whatever vessel you have. And that's a really cool thing. And you know, we like to start up a conversation like, could you use one of these? Could you maybe you build out espresso shops? Do you want to include this in your build out? That could be a really handy feature. And
are you doing that? Are you doing that kind of organically, like over the phone, or are you doing that automated in an automated fashion through emails, or a little bit of both?
Right now, we are mostly doing that the old-fashioned way. We're calling up customers, or just kind of throwing that into an exchange that we're already having about a larger order through email, through the phone. But we are working on some better automation for that, so that we can really let more of our customers know what we have, because to be honest, we sell a lot of different things, and not everybody knows about everything that we sell. Somebody that just buys baskets, or they just buy, gaskets and pumps and things like that for their espresso machine, they may never have thought to ask us about our diner mugs or our cappuccinos, which I happen to have handy right here.
Cool.
And so we like to educate them about those, or maybe the rinsers, or some of the pour-over brewing equipment that we have. I know Jesse, he's hiding there somewhere. He likes to do pour-over brewing, and we have a lot of that really cool stuff.
Pour-overs right now.
How about that?
Very cool.
Wasn't one of his.
Well, he's still learning. I'm trying to help him out there. So we have a lot of that cool equipment that maybe doesn't initially come to mind when you're just placing kind of a routine parts order. Okay, we've got to maintain 3 espresso machines. Here's the things we're going to buy. It's kind of a recurring order. We like to try to get those customers onto some other cool things that we have, and that's how we like to grow our customers. And so as far as acquisition, we do the kind of pay-per-click. We kind of do some advertising. We do print advertising as well as online advertising, and those we have great results with those. But what we really like doing is growing our existing customers, and just kind of firming up that relationship that we have with our B2B customers.
I think I really appreciate that, Daniel, that you guys really focus on your existing customer base, and you can tell from the success that you've had that it's working.
Yeah.
But I think it's a principle that's really important, and again, it's important no matter what, B2C, B2B, but it's especially important B2B.
It's critical.
That if you think about it like this, I'd rather have a trickle of new customers and have a robust system of retention and growth than to have a deluge of new customers and nothing on the retention and loyalty side.
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, because that is a business that's built to last. That's solid. You got so spend that time on figuring out how do we take care of them after we get them through the front door. Yeah. So much time and energy and money is spent on figuring out how to get them through the front door, when the real magic, the real opportunity starts the moment they step into your business.
Because if you think about it, if you talk about the coffee ethic, and that's the local coffee shop Kurt was referring to a little bit ago, always wearing an Espresso Parts shirt. Let's say that a salesman walks in and says, "Hey, I can get you a great deal on this espresso machine." He's going to be like, "No way! Daniel's my guy." No, where the folks at Espresso Parts,
that's right.
And
he knows that we would come down there and beat him up anyway.
We sell coffee there.
It's the mafia thing for our clients.
That's right. A little protection racket going on here.
Exactly. That's what we really. That's the secret to our success. Right there. The llamas will come after you if you so much as think about switching.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Hey, and one thing I was thinking, so you guys do a great job on the phone. It sounds like, I'm sure you guys have employees and folks that are really passionate about your product and understand the business. Do you guys have like formal training that you send your phone staff through so that they can make the proper recommendations? And upsell doesn't sound very cool or very consultative, but that's kind of what it is. So they go through training to be able to do that?
Well, most of the people that we hire for customer service positions, it's actually not a huge team. A lot of people think that we're a huge company and we have all these warehouses and all these different, all these different locations with people sitting on the phones. It's just here in Olympia, Washington, and we have a really, really great team of people downstairs. I love hanging out with them, and they all know their stuff because we hire them from the industry. We hire people that have repaired espresso machines before. We hire people that have worked in shops and and different cafes and different specialty coffee places. So they all kind of have their own specialties, which were built from industry experience, and that's what's really great to me. A lot of them have had formal training, but there's no regimen that we send them through as soon as they get here. Okay, you've never seen an espresso machine before. We're going to send you some factory training, and you're going to get a bunch of information dumped on you, and then you're going to try to explain that to a customer on the phone. Yeah. They got to know their stuff already, otherwise, they're not going to be able to help our customers out. And so it's really great to be down there and hearing them talk with customers, from their own experience. Hey, this grinder is really quiet. It's really nice when you're working in a small shop because you can actually hear your customers' orders. Or this grinder is big enough to grind all these beans that you have in and out bulk every day, and the burrs will last a long time. And it's all from their personal experience with the equipment and with the supplies.
Daniel, I got a question. With this whole building loyalty and how important it is in the B2B space, I know one of the best ways to build loyalty is because ultimately in B2B relationships, at some point something's not going to go right. There's going to be an issue and a question, a problem, whatever it is.
Just send them more coffee.
Send them more coffee. Yes.
But my question is, how do you, what do you have in place to identify when those things are happening? How do you get that feedback or build that space to talk about it or interact with your customers about it? And then how do you actually address those things? Maybe give some examples on that, because I have to assume that's a key to the stark raving clients that you guys have.
Yes, yeah, we're definitely very focused on customer service, and it shows. We have a lot of clients that have been with us for a long time, a lot of shops that have been ordering everything under the sun from us for years, and they know if they get the wrong part in the mail, let's say, that happens sometimes, and sometimes it's we put the wrong thing in the box. We have a very small percentage error rate, but occasionally those things happen.
Sure.
And then sometimes it's the customer. I thought I wanted this size tamper. I thought I wanted this kit of gaskets, and it turns out I don't even have that machine. I need something completely different. And those customers that have been with us for a long time, they know they can call us up, and we will make it right, whatever they need. It's really nice to talk about espresso parts and machine maintenance and all these supplies, and it feels really relaxed, and it's a coffee shop, and it's great. But sometimes they're in a really dire situation. If their espresso machine is down because there's a part that's broken, they're kind of panicked. They're in a hurry. So these kind of errors, these not necessarily errors, but just miscommunications or things that they're not perfectly satisfied with, they can be really, really important to them, and we know that because again, we hire from the industry. We have baristas here. We know that if your espresso machine is down, you can't do that much business. Not everybody wants to switch to tea for a week while you wait for a gasket to come in. So we know it's important to them, and we do what we can to make it right. And we empower our customer service team to make it right. And
so can you stop you there, Daniel? You said you empower your customer service team to make it right.
Yes.
I'd like you to unpack that a little bit, because I think there may be a transmission of of some authority to them to say, hey, this is because I know this happens in Zappos as well.
Yeah.
They've created space for them to take care of the issues within their own domain. So how do you guys empower your customer service reps?
Well, I do like to think of us kind of like the Zappos of the coffee industry, because I've had great experience with them and their customer service team. You kind of hear and see articles all the time about Zappos and their great customer service and how somebody had something wrong, and It wasn't necessarily anybody's fault, and they just exchanged. And we empower our customer service representatives to do the same thing. We empower them to replace parts without hassle, or custom orders. We have a lot of custom cups. Most of our cappuccino cups are blank, but some people want their logo on them, as we've done with this one. And so, we do our best with stuff like that to make sure that the issue, that there's no issues up front. Send them proofs, send them samples, make sure they're getting what they want. But then when there is a problem, say you ordered the wrong kit of parts, we're going to ship the right kit of parts out to you. And we empower our customer service team to do a lot of that within reason, without oh, hey, can I put you on hold, or would you like to speak to somebody above me, or would you
to get this
would you like me to call you back in 3 days and tell you we've shipped it out and it'll be there in a week, when you're sitting there and you're like, hey, I can't make coffee and I had something overnighted so that my shop wouldn't be down. We empower our customer service team to make it right, and it's something like I said, the customers that have been with us for a long time, they know they can call and they know it will be made right. But the customers, maybe it's their first time ordering, or they've ordered for a while but never had to call us because they were able to find what they needed on the website and we shipped it to them. They got it. They got their stickers and everybody was happy. But now they find out, maybe they've clicked add to cart on the wrong item and now they need something else in a hurry. Sometimes they call expecting to kind of get a big company with a long queue of calls. Hey, your call is going to be answered in 20 minutes. We really care about you. Stay on the line or leave us a message. We'll get back to you tomorrow. They expect to hear that, and when they do get through to somebody, they'll expect to kind of have a fight on their hands. Like, hey, I ordered this, but what I need is something else, and maybe I feel it's because of how the product's labeled or the description or whatever. What they find is they call and they get through to a real person who understands their issue and cares and is empowered to make it right. I think that's key.
I just think that's brilliant. What you're hitting on there. If you're out there, you have a B2B company, consider what it says to your customers, your business customers, when they call in and they have to get escalated to get something resolved. It means we don't. One of the very likely interpretations of that is we don't trust you enough.
Yes.
We think you might be trying to pull one on us, so we're going to escalate you to someone that has, that can kind of figure this out and divine this, whether you're actually being honest or not about this. It's saying we don't trust you. That's the message that's frequently received. So. But the other side of this, I just love this, and it's very important to recognize. This is an actionable bite, by the way. If you're out there and your B2B business isn't growing like it needs to be, or you think you can make some improvements on the customer service side, get on those calls and listen to them, and even take them, but listen to the ones that are already happening. Start recording them and listen to the ones that are already happening, and find out what happens when someone has a problem. How does it get addressed? Is it being escalated? Do they sound like they totally understand, or they're trying to help? Because what I hear from Daniel, and again, it's one of those things you hear between the lines, is we trust our customer service reps.
Yes, we do.
Be careful about how we selected them. We built a team that we know we can trust, because it's the same thing as Zappos. You can't give authority into hands that aren't prepared to wield that authority. So who is on your customer service team is critical to delivering that kind of high touch, immediate response service that you can trust, because you can run your business into the ground if you put that authority in hands that aren't ready for it, that aren't able to handle that. So so the actionable bite is get on those calls and start listening, start fielding those calls and talking to your customers, and that, I think, will go a long way. And secondly, just as a matter of structuring your customer service team, don't grow too fast to the point where you're needing to hire faster. You can find those people you can trust with that kind of responsibility.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And this has been awesome, by the way. And actually, it is time for actionable bites.
That's why you started that.
That was
I
awesome.
totally did, and then you
that was good.
Like, now I'm gonna say it, even though Kurt just perfectly went into it.
But to go back to what we've covered so far, this idea of building a brand, even if you're a wholesaler, manufacturer, not selling direct to the end user, but through resellers, you still got to build the brand. got to build the brand. It's better to have personality than to not have personality. To realize that your buyers, they're buyers. They're humans. They like the good experience.
Yeah.
So work on that.
Actionable bites. Stop worrying so much about the path that leads up to your house. Get your house in order and worry about taking care of the guests in your house, because if you make them start creating fans, they're going to tell everybody else that they need to come to the house. And so worry about the people that you have in your house. That is the path to sustainable growth.
Yep. And I can tell you,
Daniel, come on, actionable bite. Come on.
Actionable bite. Well, I mean, I covered it with empowering your customer service representatives, but the other half of that is trusting your customers. I mean, we put a lot of faith in our customers when they call and say, "Look, I got this part." Well, they might not actually know what part they got. They might not know if it's the one they ordered or if it's the wrong one or whose error it is, but we trust them enough to say, "You know what? Great, send that back. But first, we're going to send you out the right part so that you can get your machine up and running, or you can fix your rinser."
If they're repetitively making those kinds of things, at some point in time, maybe you can identify, maybe this customer is just
coach them a little bit, or you need to coach them on how to order or something like that.
Right. I just love that. Approach your client, your customers with trust.
Trust them.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Yep.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much for coming. We are totally
thank you guys.
Llama swag. You are totally going to send us Espresso Parts swag.
Yes, I am.
You get the traveling trophy, which I am going to immediately put back on my shelf because it belongs.
Perfect.
But thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and this is just, I think it's going to add so much value to our audience. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, guys. Let's do this again sometime.
Awesome. That sounds great. Well,
thanks,
folks,
Daniel.
thanks for tuning in, and you can catch up with us on all the social media and links and all that. Oh, by the way, we actually have that stat for you. In 2012 to 2013, B2B grew by 8% versus B2C by 2%. Is that B2B in general, or is that e-commerce?
So that's 400%
That's e-commerce specifically. So that's
growth.
Otherwise saying 400% faster. So my hunch was right. B2B is growing faster in the e-commerce channel than B2C. How about them apples? So anyway, until next time, everyone, stay classy.
Stay classy.
I gotta hit the button. Where's the
Hit
button?
the button. Hit the button.